everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Remember me? I'm Nick Barris. I work here at Channel 5, but I've been off the last 2 weeks. And I'm back, and it was funny. I was talking to my friend Rick, one of my very best friends back there, and we were saying, you know, Nick, last week, are you looking forward to going back to work? And I said, you know what, actually I am. And he said, Nick, you're an odd bird. And I said, that's right, Rick, I'm a mutant. I like coming back to work. I was excited to come back to be with you, to do the show, to get back in it. It kind of helps me. You know, the truth is, I kind of had the grunge over the break, you know, and not feeling all that well. It's because I just sit back and relax. But when I get to work and I have to kick in the adrenaline, I get healthy all of a sudden. Is that weird? I'm not sure I'm the person to answer that question, but I think someone who has a medical background could, and that would be Allison Fields. But she deals with dogs, cats, and animals, not humans. But do you think that's possible? And I'm not that far removed from some of the creatures you actually deal with.
I think that there's something to be said to a normalcy of your routine that helps the immune system.
Yes.
I don't necessarily think that your adrenaline going helps, because that can actually harm the immune system.
I thrive on stress.
Right, and so that's your norm.
But I don't like thriving on stress, because it's an uncomfortable way to be, but yet I thrive on it.
Well, maybe you should thrive on being busy and not stress.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing.
Activities.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You have to deal, instead of just being so lazy.
Right.
Because I can be really lazy.
Right, we all can.
Yeah, were you lazy over the break?
A little bit, not terribly much.
Because you were busy dealing with pancreatitis.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
We always talk about the holidays. We knew this, you know, before Thanksgiving when we talked to you about, okay, you're going to see some of that.
Right. Typically the day after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas.
Okay, listen. All right, we've got Betty Davis, our little...
Right.
Okay. Huey left a bag of gummy worms on the floor. She ate the whole bag.
Oh, wow.
Now, and those basically are really sour. They're like citric acid. It's not chocolatey, but I'm like, what are you doing eating a whole bag of gummy worms?
One thing to pay attention to with candies and treats and stuff like that is if they're sugar-free and they contain xylitol, this is a problem. Xylitol can kill a dog pretty quickly. So if you leave your sugar-free gum laying where a dog can get it, and they get even just one piece of gum, you need to go to your veterinarian.
For real?
For real.
Swallowing it? Or, I mean, I guess they would swallow it, right? Or
yeah, they don't chew gum. Yeah.
That's so odd to me. Why is something like that fatal potentially to a dog and not a human?
It causes a really acute drop in blood glucose in dogs. We don't know why. I mean, it's why they can't eat chocolate. We can eat chocolate. Chocolate kills dogs. You know, I mean, they have different enzymes and different pathways of metabolizing things. And so xylitol is one of those things. It's in a lot of toothpaste. It's in gum. It's in a lot of different things, especially your sugar-free candies and, you know, things that lollipops and things like that.
Lollipops and all, right.
So you just need to be aware of that. You know, if you have toddlers and you're giving them treats like that, you need to make sure that they're not sugar-free.
Right.
I know you don't want the kids running around jacked up on sugar, but you know, if you have a dog, and toddlers are very well known for just laying stuff down and walking away.
Dog grabs it.
But that is a really important. I mean, that's like emergency clinic at night. If your dog eats, you know, gets a hold of a pack of gum, and you know, even if you can't read the package, go get online.
Okay.
You know, figure out what it is and what the ingredients are, and if it has xylitol, you need to go ASAP.
Okay, good. Well, I'll say this: Huey, he's a sugar guy.
Good.
So it was sugary.
Well,
anyway,
I think that sugar for kids is much better than all the artificial stuff.
I guess so, in moderation, of course.
Right.
And Huey doesn't know that word, but. Gummy worms. Anyway, Betty Davis survived the gummy worm
so glad.
Episode on all of that. By the way, this is a live show. We're back with you, and I do hope you all had a wonderful holiday. And if you have a question this morning about pets, she is a veterinarian. The number's up on the screen, 737-7587. Just before we went on the air, I called and woke up my good neighbor, Jimmy. And my other neighbor, John Roberts, who lives just down the road, who's kind of a crazy nut. He now is watching us because now he has cable, which is really cool.
Right.
And they say that there's concern now about coyotes in our neighborhood.
There's coyotes. I live in Sylvan Park, and there's coyotes. We had a neighbor see a coyote the other day. We see them.
Why is that a concern? I guess if you have a small pet, they'll make quick work of them.
Cats, small dogs.
Now, would you have to worry the same about a fox? Foxes,
I think that,
which are much rarer, I think.
They are much more rare. I'm not quite sure about the whole hunting habits of foxes versus coyotes. Coyotes typically are in a pack, so that makes it really a lot easier to get these small animals. For some reason, I'm feeling like foxes don't really hunt in a pack.
Okay.
They're more lone, so they're more likely to get even smaller prey or garbage
And foxes
or
are
stuff like that.
smaller than
they
coyotes,
are,
aren't
yes.
they? Okay, so with regard to coyotes, I guess, I'm not sure how you eradicate them or what the plan is for that. It's more just keep an eye on your animals
Yeah.
in the backyard. See, we have an invisible fence.
Right.
And
Which is a concern.
we let them out, exactly. And a coyote could take on, I don't know about a beagle, but certainly a pug, right?
Oh, sure.
Mashed tater, it's over.
Snack time.
Yeah, mashed tater's never out by herself. But
Poor
I
little
mean,
thing.
any idea on that? I mean, what do you do to
I
deter
honestly
that?
don't know.
I don't know if there's
I have not
check
looked
with
into
TWRA.
it. Yeah, TWRA would be your best bet. There's lots of rules and regulations about wildlife in the state of Tennessee and what you can trap for and what you can, is protected and stuff like that. I think if you're having a large problem with the coyotes, then TWRA is going to be your best resource to talk to them about A, what you can do, or B, what they can help you do.
Have you ever had someone bring in what apparently was a coyote pup they found that they tried to raise themselves, which again I
No.
would assume is illegal because it's a wild animal, right? Sometimes, be it that, you see stories every once in a while on people that try to domesticate a fawn or a raccoon or things like that. All that's illegal, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Unless you have a permit, and typically the only people that get permits are wildlife rehabilitation
Yeah, like
centers.
Walden's
Right.
Puddle or something
Yes,
like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, it is illegal. We have people that frequently will bring in a fawn that got hit by a car, or they'll call us with it. We have to immediately say you need to take it to a rehabber, because even though we're veterinarians, we are not allowed, unless we had the right permits, to
treat
care
the
for them
animal,
and treat
yeah.
them. I mean, we can treat them
Stabilize them enough.
Yes, and get them to a rehabber.
Okay. And one other question with these wild animals, be it coyotes, the rabies cases, which are very rare, but when they occur, we think it's transmitted to domesticated animals from mostly raccoons, or how does it sometimes pass?
Mostly, I think skunks are the most
skunks,
common in Tennessee, but
Coyotes
skunks,
not so much?
I mean, they can carry
Okay.
rabies, but I don't think that they are a species. Like, skunks can carry rabies and not be affected by rabies.
Okay,
And they can
so
be a
they're
carrier.
carriers.
Right. And so that's a very dangerous kind of situation, because rabies, when it affects an animal, the animal will be dead within 10 days.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious when one's really
Correct.
in bad shape.
When
yeah.
they're bad shape, but right at the beginning, maybe not. So, coyotes are a little bit trickier, because they could have rabies and you don't really see it, but they'll be dead in 10 days. Skunks, they can wander around and waddle
Sure.
all around and infect things. So skunks, bats are the two biggest ones, I think, and then pretty much any mammal
Okay.
can contract rabies.
Okay. Do we want to take a phone call before we go to our first break, or? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take Ronnie. Ronnie, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Ronnie.
Morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to y'all.
What's going on?
I wanted to ask the veterinarian about dogs who tend to find a litter box a viable food source.
Right? That's called the
Very
snack
sick
bar.
Dog, and what can be done? I mean, if the dog can't keep eating what's in the litter box with the litter.
Right,
Oh, that's a
so
great question.
those
That's
are
called the snack bar.
Tootsie Rolls, and we find them at the snack bar.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, dogs love the kitty litter box. So there's really not a whole lot you can do to make the dog quit wanting it, but you can do some things to keep the dog away from the litter box. You can, if you have a hooded litter box, you can turn it so that there's about 6 inches, assuming your cat's not ginormous, between the wall and the opening to the litter box, so the dog can't get in there. Of course, as you have a big dog, they'll just move
Sure.
the whole thing. They make a lot of different litter boxes you can get online and look that are dog proof. And some of them are pretty ingenious and pretty cool. The other thing you can do is, like, we have our litter box in the basement. We cut a little cat door in the basement door, so the cats can go downstairs, but the dog can't. Baby gates work well if you have your litter box in a room that, you know, is not highly traveled by people, that the baby gate's going to be a totally big pain in your neck, but you can put a baby gate up, and typically the cats can go up and over the baby gate pretty easily until they get elderly. But that's some things that you can do. So there's really not anything to keep the dog from wanting to do that, but we just have to find ways to prevent it.
Okay, and the fact that the dog did at some point, is it going to hurt the dog?
No, I mean, now
I understand why you don't want them doing it. I mean,
there are some intestinal parasites that can be transmitted through the feces. And so, you know, if your cat's an indoor cat and they were dewormed at some point in their life, more than likely they don't have intestinal parasites. If they're indoor-outdoor cats, their chances increase dramatically. So, you know, you may want to deworm everybody. But no, other than that, that's about it. Other than gross factor.
Yeah, I love it, the snack bar.
Right.
All right, we'll take a break on that note. When we come back, the phone lines are open, 737-7587. If you want to jump in, questions about your pet, it's the new year. We'll get into some of the concerns about things that you need to be aware of right now. We've certainly had a fairly warm
so
sequence,
far,
and what that means for your animals as well. So we'll take your calls and be back with more with Allison right after this. Stay with us.